I have found my new obsession. I absolutely love Based on a True Story. Now, this is a lot like Only Murders in the Building, which I also like. It is a fantastic series, and I really hope that it survives the writer's strike because I need more seasons. I am totally obsessed. Kaley Cuoco, who is also a producer, stars, and she is so funny. She filmed this while she was pregnant, and her character is pregnant. But she and her husband, her character is married to Chris Messina's character. She is obsessed with true crime and wants to do a podcast to get into, to like milk some of that gold rush, that gold mine of true crime, and how many, like millions of people listen to these podcasts like every day. And he is a retired tennis player who was on the precipice of becoming great like Andre Agassi. And so he has a knee injury, and you know he's riding this wave of this one time back in the day, almost 20 years ago, when he beat Federer. So he's been milking that ever since, and has since been teaching tennis at the Beverly Club. Well, they're on hard times. He gets demoted. She's a realtor. She can't, sell a house to save her life. And, even this mansion that her boss, her broker throws her, she can't even unload that. So they're kind of on hard times. Not necessarily on the precipice of bankruptcy, but, really struggling a little with this kid on the way. And so one day her kid sister is staying with her. Her kid sister is living the life she wished she could continue to live. But one day their toilet goes out, and so they need to hire a plumber, and an expensive plumber. So they TaskRabbit this plumber. This plumber, brilliantly played by Tom Bateman, no relation to Jason Bateman, who's a producer on the show. He, as it were, is a serial killer. He's the West Side Killer in LA. He's going around killing all of these. He's like killing these young women. Thank goodness it's not any worse than that, as you can imagine. He's like stabbing these young. I know that's not funny, but they make this funny in the most ironic way. But he's going around killing these women, and nobody's on his tail. The police have no idea who the West Side Killer is, and he enjoys the rush of getting away with it. And he's been doing this, getting away with it for years. Well, he happens to be their plumber. Hold on. He happens to be their plumber. They put two and two together, and they bribe him because, again, they know that there is a gold rush in, mining or capitalizing off the podcast. So since they have a connection with and have fostered a friendship with this supposed serial killer, they say, instead of turning him in, let's bribe him and capitalize off it by doing a true crime podcast. And so they bribe him, they corner him, and they give him an offer he can't refuse. Stop killing women, but join them in this podcast where they will mask his voice, and he will chronicle really, how he's been killing and getting away with all of these women. Let me tell you, this series is so hilarious. Thank goodness Peacock dropped every single episode. Each episode is hilarious. Okay, so this one episode, they go to Crime Con. So Crime Con is basically Comic-Con for true crime fanatics. So they're at Crime Con, And I mean, they're trying to see like what they're trying to come up with some ideas and some content to push their podcast, because not too many people have downloaded it. So, and, and the serial killer, their friend, shows up too, and he's like, oh, I have an idea. So, okay, so anyway, there's this one girl who is, she claims that she was the only survivor of this West Side killer, the serial killer. She's the only survivor. And so she's selling like swag and paraphernalia. She's selling a book or whatever. And people are like, oh, she's a survivor. And they're like, she has a lot of fans. So, and she's like, if I see his face, I will recognize him right away. Oh my God. There is this scene where they're all on the elevator. I mean, this is some good TV. Man, that scene had me like, there's no dialogue, but man, the 4 actors kill it. They're so good. That one, just watch out for the elevator scene at Crime Con. Anyway, he approaches her because he's like, this is not one of my victims. Basically, nobody survived his killings, his murders. So he's like, she's lying. She's capitalizing off my name. I can't have this. And there's another one like that. I won't go into. There's this TV producer that's like, oh, she's gonna have like her SVU type story off of his name. And she's like, what is he gonna do? Sue me for stealing his rights? Oh my God. But anyway, and so we don't know if she's lying or if he doesn't remember, because he's killed so many people and he may have lost track. He approaches her. She doesn't recognize him, but she is consumed with something, maybe guilt, maybe fright, because he threatens her. And so she throws herself off of the hotel balcony, and it's a cliffhanger. I probably shouldn't have spoiled this, but everybody sees it, and they didn't milk that because there's an arc that was there. They kind of leave it alone or whatever. But now they're like, oh my God, he did this to this girl. His partners are now afraid because they're like, he killed. We said no more killings, and he's killing again. Oh my gosh, it's one of the best episodes of the series. But that elevator scene, I lost it. So they want to grow their subscriber account. So they're trying to, what are they called? The crime junkies are there. Like all of the key players are there in the podcast. The true crime podcast game are there, and they have so many fans and so many followers and subscribers, and so they're trying to tap into it, but they've only gotten like 100 and something people who have listened to this initial episode. But then then Jessica Alba on IG, she like posts that this is bad. Why are you capitalizing? They're capitalizing off all of these women murdered, like, and then when she posts that, Malia Obama reposted, and then so they've got good people hating on the podcast, and then they've got bad people liking it. They're like, well, who liked it? Kanye West liked it. Jared from Subway. I mean, the scene is so funny, and so our serial killer says, oh man, we got to turn this thing around. And so he says, all right, he doesn't tell them, but he goes and films. He goes and records a episode like he's there. He's there at the convention. He's there at the convention recording live. Nobody can see him, but he's like live recording and in an undisclosed location. And so all of the people come in there, and now they're getting their followers back because they're like, oh my God, because people are so obsessed with murder and crime, all of this. So he gets them to come in their room, and they leave like crime junkies. I don't know. Man, that episode, gosh, I gotta figure out which episode. Hold on, I gotta figure out which episode this is, because Man, the episode is brilliant. This is some of the best writing, period. This is some great writing. I gotta see. I think it was like episode 5, I want to say. I'm about to look it up because it's so good. Oh my gosh. And I like that it's called Based on a True Story, because that's really a memeable title, especially with it being an acronym, boats being the acronym. I don't know. That's such a good. Let me give you their names. So Kaley Cuoco plays Ava. Chris Messina plays Nathan. Our serial killer plays Matt. Man. And oh my gosh. So Priscilla Quintana plays Ruby Gale. She's so good. Watch out for her. She's so good. It's 8 episodes. Let me go to the episode guide. Oh, I hope this season 2 is already written. Please, 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 please. Okay. So episode 1 is called The Great American Art Form. Oh God, I didn't even know this. Episode 2 is titled BDE. Episode 3 is Who's Next. That's the episode I love. So it's episode 3. Oh my God. And it's episode 4. Oh no. Episode 4. Crime. Okay. Episode 4 is called The Survivor. They're at Crime Con in Las Vegas. Oh my God. Episode 4 is my favorite. Episode 5 is Ted Bundy Bottle Opener. Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Okay. This is so funny. Episode 6 is I Love You, BuzzFeed. Episode 7 is National Geographic. And the final episode is The Universe. That's what I mean. That last episode is such a cliffhanger because they're like, we could build off. Like this could be, based on a true story, Chicago, based on a true story, Atlanta. They're trying to build off their podcast. When I tell you, it's good. Trust me. The acting is phenomenal. Kaley Cuoco's facial acting in this series is top notch. I expect her to be nominated for an Emmy. She is so fantastic. Everybody pulls their own weight in this series. It's so good. Chris Messina is fantastic as, this long-suffering husband, really, because he's coming to realize that, his tennis career is long gone. Those days are long gone. He had this singular moment in his tennis career, his athletic career. It's long gone. He's not getting it back. And so this is something that he can really sink his teeth into. So they bribe the serial killer, but they still fear him. They fear that he's not only going to try to kill them, but kill one of their friends who he is getting closer and closer and closer to. And so they have to maintain this secret that they have and try to keep him from killing someone else, which again, he is obsessed with murder. He's obsessed with killing, just as obsessed as they are with reading about it on the news, reading about it and seeing it on the news. I couldn't stop cackling. Like, this is so good. Trust me when I tell you. It's so good. It's really easy to binge too. And every episode builds off of the one before and just gets better and better and better. There is a huge cliffhanger, and that's what I mean. I hope this survives the writer's strike, because I would hate to be left at the end of this season how it's left off. I would hate for it to end there for good. I am obsessed with the show. It is so good. It's so funny. It's easy to follow. The characters, albeit bad, are so likable. Kaley Cuoco is a standout. She is so good. A lot of the acting is facial and it's physical in a way that even though she's pregnant, that she has this physical comedic style that just draws the viewer in. I think she is so funny. Her comedic timing is on point. and I'm obsessed with this show. If you haven't seen it, run to Peacock ASAP and see this series. It's so good.